Have you ever had to put eye medicine on your eye? Well, on your eye, obviously, but then tasted it at the back of your throat a few minutes later. So what's going on there? Well, I just thought I'd share this because I just experienced it myself. I'm using this eye ointment. It's one of those everyday demonstrations of anatomy or physiology that I just think we all encounter day to day, but I think it's even cooler if you know what's going on. So this is my quick explanation. Full disclosure, I'm a cardiologist, so generally I think anything above the neck is problematic, but I do remember a bit of this anatomy, so I'll give it a go. Because the human body is essentially, you can think about it like a just complex system of interconnected tubes. And I mean that with some seriousness. We are just a bunch of tubes. We start pretty much as a tube, primitive tube in the womb, in utero, developing, and that tube twists and folds and invaginates, steady on, and becomes more and more complex. And that's how we develop. And indeed, that's how some developmental issues that we encounter, congenital abnormalities, things that go wrong during development in embryology, are called tube defects. Now, I feel like I'm kind of digressing from the explanation here. So let's get back to our eyes. So when you put medicine on your eye, it may seem like it's all sealed up, but you can see that there are tiny holes in your lids called puncta. And that's where your tears come out. And, one is here. So when you put medicine there, it actually can enter that hole and then drain into the lacrimal sac, which is drains into the nasolacrimal duct, which kind of runs along here, which then is connected to, and I remember the name of this, the valve of Hassner, which sounds like something from Dungeons and Dragons. It drains through the valve of Hassner into the nasal cavity, into your nose basically, and then that trickles down the back of your throat and you swallow it. And that's the same thing that happens to your nasal secretions as well. And I'll explain why in a second, but this is why your nose runs when you cry. Some people think, I think, that people feel that there are two separate processes, like you're crying, but then there's also another process that makes your nose run. No, it's the same stuff. It is, tears are coming out of your nose because some of those tears go out of the tear duct and some come out of your nose and mix with snot, and you're literally blowing tears out of your nose. So medicine can also take the same path. And why does everything go down the back of the throat? Well, it's not just it's a convenient place to dispose of things, but imagine you're a ancient tribe, and how do you deal with invaders to your kingdom? You just throw them into the volcano. I don't know which civilization this is. Please don't try to pin me down. I don't think historical accuracy is what I was going for. This is just a metaphor. But instead of taking a lot of time to try and process invaders, enlisting your immune system to deal with them, you can do the same thing as the ancient tribe. Chuck them into the fiery volcano, aka your destructive stomach juices, acid. So all these pathogens that you might breathe in through your nose, they can just be swallowed and dissolved by your stomach acid. So this has really gone from where I started. It was meant to be a video about how you can taste your eye drops. I'm using these because I got some wood in my eye the other day, which has scratched up my cornea. It's fine now. I think it's pretty much better. It's a little bit swollen still, but for a couple of days I did have to wear an eye patch at work, which is pretty cool, but I'm sure was quite disconcerting to some of my patients about to undergo their procedures and have their stents done. But thankfully I don't need stereo vision to look at the X-ray screen. So even though the pirate beard has gone, the spirit lives on. Oh, and the fact that they call the gauze that goes in your eye an iPad, I thought was kind of amusing. So I can now tell my son that, yes, I have bought him an iPad for his birthday.